Hi, this is a Merry Mayhem's podcast.
where we unpack everything about weddings. So take a breath, settle in, and let's dive right in.
Welcome to episode 9 of
a Merry
Mayhem's
Mayhem's podcast.
So today, what are we talking about, Mr. Mings?
We are gonna talk about what happens after your wedding.
Yes, so I think a lot of couples must be wondering what happens with their wedding photos or even video after the wedding. But we're gonna focus more on the photos segment lah.
Yep.
Yeah, because we both are actually photographers.
Yes,
So for couples, they always have a lot of questions in terms of the deliverables, right? The photos. So
Usually they ask.
yeah, we will just dive into a few pointers here that I feel for my side I think it's just questions that couples often ask me after the wedding, or some even before the wedding. They already ask me some of these questions. So I think this will be a very good opportunity for us to just bring up some of these frequently asked questions. Yeah, so that hopefully it clarifies a lot of your doubts that you may have. One of the first question we can start off, I think, would be why is it important to even edit the photos, right?
Yes.
Because I think for couples, sometimes they may not understand, why need to spend so much time, such long hours, many days, weeks, or even months to edit the wedding album. Yeah, so just ask you, why is it important as a creative to edit your photos?
Wow, it's like presenting you with raw ingredients to cook or bake. And then you just like lump them all together without going through like a proper temperature process or like the layering process.
Yeah.
Like,
I think, I get where you're going. Yeah, so I also agree with that. Yeah, you need to because the raw pictures, like you say, is just raw ingredients, right?
Yep.
So it's still not a final product.
Yes, you can say so. Because if not, we were gonna go into very technical terms, or if not, things like lighting and colors of certain stuff. Yeah, which I mean, you can don't edit or anything if the colors are already very nice. Like you have perfect lighting there, then don't need to do much touch up lah. Yeah.
So for me, editing actually enhances the mood of the picture, right?
Yeah.
And then also creates certain kind of emotions for us creative to want the person looking at the pictures to feel. Yeah, so I think this is the part where we enhances it lah.
I feel there's a lot of feelings involved for this part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a creative, when we edit, I think it do stimulate some form of emotions in us when we edit the photos. And I think a lot of it is also based off our emotions while we are editing, how we feel
Yeah.
at that certain point of time when we are looking at the picture. Yeah. But for me, one fun fact is in the process of editing, I like to play some music.
Same. I have to edit with music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's not just me lah.
Yeah. It's a must-have for me. It kind of evokes certain emotions inside me when I'm going through this whole process, and I feel that it's very important to keep that spark over there. Otherwise, the whole process will be very mundane.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel like
I don't like
very
to be
boring.
editing a photo and not feeling a certain way.
Yeah,
Because you
same.
just like, it becomes a very torturing process.
It's a
for
chore.
me.
It will become a chore.
A very
Yeah.
painful process. Like you just want to faster finish the photos. So basically, what goes through the editing process, right, is that typically after the wedding, of course, we will back up the photos, right? So after we back up, we will then when we start editing, we will import them into our Lightroom.
Yep.
Software our editing software, and then we will build some smart previews. Then after the smart previews are done, then that is where we start to do the color enhancements. But okay, before touch on colors, actually we cull through the pictures.
We go through the photos to choose lah. Culling process is like you're choosing the photos. Yeah.
But before we go on that, maybe this is also a good opportunity for me to ask, like, how many photos do you take for a typical wedding day?
I think
Say
if
8 hours, thereabout.
it's 8 hours, I would say ranging from 2,500 to maybe 4,500. I think it depends on
Yeah.
how eventful the day is, how many segments are there, how many different styles are there
Yeah.
to the day lah. Yeah.
Same lah. Mine also around that range, like 3,000-4,000 range. Yeah. So that's why there are a lot of pictures we need to cycle through, right?
Yep.
During the editing process, which takes up a lot of time. Imagine we have to really look through 3,000 to 4,000 photos.
Yes. I mean, there are people that really shoot. They shoot differently. They you can say within 1 or 2 shots they got the shot already. Yeah.
But one interesting fact to share with you is that last time, like when I just started photography not too long ago, back in the days, I think people don't shoot as many. Yeah, I usually land about 1,000 plus to 2,000 plus photos
For like
for a
8
full day.
hours. Oh.
In the past.
Oh, okay.
And then I think as the camera start to evolve, I start to shoot more because because it's just the camera is so capable in handling, you know, when we burst the camera, you know, we can afford to stock up the buffer with tons of images and not let the camera get bottlenecked. Because last time, you say in earlier days when I shoot, right, my camera after maybe 20 shots in a split second, you know, like you spray or shutter and you shoot a lot. After 20 shots, it starts to slow down. And then if you continue to shoot, it will just block you from shooting.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the buffer is already filled.
Yeah.
So it can no longer shoot until the camera clears the buffer into the memory card. Yeah. So that is the limitations lah of technology back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now it's just the camera pretty much the buffer will not get jammed.
Yeah,
You can shoot almost as much as you want. As long as you are using the higher end cameras lah. That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
Yeah, of course the beginner ones still will have this issue. But those are not meant for such shooting conditions. Yeah, because hobbies they don't shoot like that.
Yeah. That's how our shutter count go.
Okay, like, I mean we don't go too technical into the camera stuff. Yeah, but just briefly sharing a bit. Yeah, so 4,000 photos, imagine we have to look through. Sometimes we take 1 or even 2 days, full days to cycle through all these photos, right? Yeah, because we also don't want to just mindlessly pick photo.
Yep.
Yeah, we have to really look at every expression and decide which is the best out of maybe this series of shots that we've taken. Yeah.
It takes quite a bit of brain juice, I would say. Just going through the photos, because there will be that so-called choosing fatigue.
Yes,
you
sure.
have to choose the right one to put in your album also. I think that forms part of the important creative process during this whole thing lah.
So I think the culling of the pictures can already take 1 to 2 days, and then next is afterwards we will go into the color edits, right? So color editing is also something that will take up a lot of time. So normally you say a 8 hours wedding, I will normally end up with after shooting 4,000, let's say we have an average of 4,000 photos, I usually deliver maybe around 10 to 15% of what I've shot. So you are looking at maybe around 5 to 800 photos.
About the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are the photos. The 5 to 800 photos are the one that we will actually edit the colors. Right.
Yep.
Then the rest is just raw photos that we don't give to couples because they are very repetitive, right? Because couples always also have this question like, do you give us raw photos? Can you give us the raw photos? Yeah. So if you have that question in mind, then my answer here to you is no lah. You know, it's not that we are trying to be stingy. We trying to gatekeep nice photos, or we trying to sell you any photos. Like try to sell you photos, you know.
Yeah.
Because I understand some pre-wedding photography companies, they do that. So they only give you maybe 25 photos and then they sell you.
If you want the rest, they will ask you to pay for a certain amount for like maybe the rest of the 1,000 photos. Yeah.
So you can sign up a pre-wedding package for like, you know, $2,000, $3,000. I mean with makeup, gown, and photo shoot. But then you might end up spending even more than that, right? Because you're gonna buy photos. Because whatever package you paid for was only for a certain limited amount of photos. And usually it's limited to 25 to 30 photos. And then anything on top of that, you need to buy one photo for anywhere between 50 to 100 over dollars. One photo.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't do that. So what we do nowadays, not just us lah, of course, I believe there's a lot of photographers also do this, which means we return all the nice photos to couples.
Yep.
Yeah, so we don't gatekeep anything. Yeah, so basically we return you all the nice photos. But of course, the raw photos, why we don't give, right, is because, like I said, there's 4,000 raw photos. Will you really even look through the 4,000 photos or not? Because a ton of the pictures are repeated. Because we spray a lot of pictures at certain parts of the day. And you say, for example, one march in, I can easily have 100 plus photos in that short march in from the aisle. You know, when doing your banquet lah. Do you really need 100 plus photos or no? You probably just need a good 10 to 15 images during that march in. I think is good enough already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
So that's why we don't return all the raw photos, but also we don't return because the photos are raw, the file sizes are very big. So it actually requires a lot of hours to upload raw photos for couples to download. And we upload might take I'm not kidding, we can take, my house computer, right, can take 1.5 days to upload all the raw photos into Google Drive. And then couple will have to on their computer for another 1.5 to 2 days. My internet speed is considered quite fast already. It can still take because the file size is about 150 gigabyte to 100 to 200 gigabyte. Yeah. So if I were to upload almost 200 gigabyte of files, it's gonna take damn long.
Yeah. Storage management there.
Yeah.
It's very important. Not important. It's very expensive for cloud storage as well. Yeah. So like it doesn't make financial sense that way as well. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes exceptional cases where couple want raw photos, I can tell them that if you really want it, I can give you lah, but you have to make a trip down and then you have to pass me your hard drive and then I'll transfer it to you instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the most feasible way really. But then again, it requires effort lah. You need to drive down and then the transferring of 200 gig of file using cable also takes quite long, you know. Usually couple don't give us those SSD drive with very high speed one.
The fast speed one is expensive lah.
Yeah, and then they give me those spinning drives. I tell you, it can take 2 hours, 3 hours to transfer into those hard drives one.
Yeah.
So it's gonna take up very, very, very long. Last time I used to do that. You know, I used to sit at Starbucks and then
transfer.
the couple I transfer to their hard disk.
But the thing is, when you shoot in RAW, right? They use what software to open?
If you're using Mac, you can just open with Preview.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
but if you're using Windows, I've not been using Windows for many years, but I know in the past Windows cannot open RAW files. Yeah, you need like a Photoshop, Lightroom, some specific photo editing software to open it. Yeah, so
I'm quite out of touch with Windows already.
me too. Likewise, no.
Just use the basic shutdown button and power on.
But then again, because those are raw files, right? Their preview is gonna take very long. If they were to open with just the normal preview software, it takes very long to load the image because it has to render the file. And one picture file is anywhere between 50 to 100 megabyte.
Depends on what you show on lah.
Yeah, because it depends on how big your camera megapixel is lah. Yeah.
That's right.
So okay, so the next question is also because we do color editing, right? Okay, I think since we're at color editing, before I move on, why not we talk a little bit more about the color edits? So is there anything you want to share in terms of your creative process, like color editing wise?
I think color edits. This was like way back when I first started. What I did back then was a bit crazy lah. So I don't have presets built in. I don't save presets or anything. So I go by how it looks, how the photos looks, where the lights are, the shadows are and all. Then I just adjust from there. Then colors, I see where I need to change. Then I just adjust from there. Every photo, I go through this process. You know, the exposure, contrast, blah, 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 blah. Like, wow. So it took very, very long back in the days. It really took a few days for me to just churn out like just 250 photos.
I mean, it's normal because when I just started photography not too long ago, a lot of exploration.
Yeah.
So I think it's not unusual that you'll do that. Yeah. So
I think through this process, I learned a lot.
yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's back then I was still a hobbyist, so I go through all this and I was able to see exactly what changes what settings what dials it will change which aspect of the photo. So from there I started playing with colors as well. I go online, I go YouTube to learn how a certain photographer edit his photos. Then I started to pick up from there and learn to play with other colors as well. So that was like quite an interesting phase for me. Then moving forward now, about 2.5 years ago, I joined the wedding industry here in Singapore. Then that's when I got exposed to presets. How dumb.
So that was when you started using presets.
Yeah. So that was I never ever used presets to edit photos back
That's
then.
interesting.
So like I was never into presets.
Yeah.
And then until I joined the company then I started playing around with the presets a bit also. Yeah. Back then I had to follow like a certain color palette that was given by the company. Yeah. So there was this learning curve as well. Because my eyes wasn't trained to really edit consistently. But after that process, then I saw that I was able to see it a bit more consistently. Even just tiny little bit, then I can like just tweak it back. Yeah. So big thanks to Pearlin back then. Yeah, she did a great job by
Training your eyes lah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, powerful.
Yeah, so color editing is it's very tricky because I think color editing helps couple decide also whether to work with the photographer or not. Because
Yes.
every
Yeah.
photographer has different type of editing style, which can easily is the first thing that couple use to differentiate photographers' work. You know, whether the photo is brighter or is it darker or is it somewhere in the middle. Yeah. So based off that, couple will shortlist photographers. You know, and also it can not just be the brightness, right? It can be the colors.
Colors as well.
Yeah, is it leaning towards the warmer tones, or is it the more tinted or magenta? You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could even be like maybe a certain cinematic scene.
I think nowadays there's this ongoing trend where photos are the colors are very muted, but then at the same time, it looks like a scene from a movie, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I personally, honestly, I'm not a huge fan of that. So I don't do that, even though it's kind of like a trendy going on at this point of time. Yeah, but I don't really. Yeah, I think I it doesn't resonate with me lah.
I've liked that kind of look since many years ago when I was still a hobbyist. Yeah, and like it's still something that inspires me. Like movie scenes and all, like it still inspires how I edit some photos as well. Yeah, and then I'll just play around from there. Yeah, I think it's a very interesting thing to do. Yeah, so to me, making a photo nice was something that was very, very important through this whole photography career or
Journey
this journey, as a photographer Yeah.
Because the reason why I also don't choose to do the cinematic look kind of a style is also because I think it looks nice when it's posted a few shots.
Yeah.
But when I cycle through a full album of a few hundred pictures of that kind of a color palette, right, or style, it seems it starts to become very boring. You know, like it doesn't work anymore. Yeah, it works for short scene. It's like it captures my attention. But if I look at it for too long, then I'm like, yeah. But not trying to slam this and say that it's not good. It's just something that it doesn't aligns with me lah.
I would say for pre-wedding it would be quite relevant that way because pre-wedding you don't have like so many photos to cycle through. You know, you just have like a few to maybe present to your whoever.
Yeah. Okay.
So like for pre-wedding, I would go with that. Yeah, but I can agree with you for actual day. Like it can get quite repetitive and I wouldn't say boring, but a bit too concentrated. Yeah, like
I think it only works for a certain scene, I guess, like a short scene in on the wedding day. Yeah.
I'm not there yet to try lah, so can't really comment much on that. Maybe it works for some people.
Okay. Yeah. But anyway, color editing, I think it's a very subjective thing, lor. Yeah. So it's the easiest for couples to find photographers is looking at the color edits, whichever color they prefer. I think that is one of the factors that you can consider whether to work with the photographer, but it cannot be the decisive factor lah.
It should not lah.
It should not be. Yeah, because for me, I think working with a photographer in the past episodes we've talked about this, right? It's not just the editing style or shooting style. There's way more to it. So please go back and listen if you want to know more. Yeah, but anyway, color editing is one thing. Photoshop is actually another thing, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Because a lot of couples, they always ask about Photoshop as well, So I think now is also the perfect time to talk about why Photoshop is, what's the difference lah? We can explain to couple. Yeah, because color editing, we only touch the colors, right?
Yep.
Photoshop is more of like, how will you describe it?
Wow, altering then the portions of the photo.
Yeah, I mean, Photoshop can be very wide. You can do a lot of things with it.
Yep.
But it's usually not changing of colors.
Yeah.
It's removing certain objects from the scene or adding objects even, and also doing some enhancement in terms of like to the facial features. Can make your eyes bigger, your face, your jawline come out. Remove dark eye circles. Just really polishing up the blemishes of the pictures. So I think Photoshop is a process that actually happens after the color edits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agree.
So the editing process is cull the pictures where we select pictures and then we do color edits, and then if necessary, then we do the photoshopping.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have you heard of people doing like color edits on Photoshop?
No.
So
I know it can be done lah, but it's very rare that people will do it there.
I've seen people do it before,
Yeah.
but like it's just not the process that I would take.
No, you know why people don't do it there or not? Because it doesn't open multiple files.
Oh.
So the editing process is very short. Imagine you have to open 500 photos one by one in Photoshop to edit the color. Does it make sense or not? It doesn't, right? Yeah, it's not like Lightroom where you have a gallery view. You can preview all the pictures at once and then open in Photoshop.
Okay.
Yeah, so but I heard you can use Adobe Bridge. That one is another thing.
I
also.
haven't used
Yeah,
that.
so you can kind of use Adobe Bridge with Photoshop, and then it works that way, like Lightroom, something like that. Yeah, but it's just nobody uses that lah. Yeah, most people just do their.
Never heard of it.
Anyway, Lightroom is already becoming way better than what it used to.
Yep.
So you can do masking, you can do a lot of things with Lightroom instead of needing to go into Photoshop.
It's getting more and more convenient now with Lightroom's new features.
Yeah, exactly, right? So they even have all these generative AI functions built into Lightroom.
Yeah.
We are also still exploring at this stage. Yeah.
But this kind of stuff, like it does, it enhances the photos, but it slows down a bit of the editing process, which would likely delay or like lengthen the entire process of editing as well lah. So that's the more photos you want it to be like polished, then definitely the longer time it will take lah.
Yeah. So for me, if you talk about Photoshop, right, I will say Photoshop, as a photographer, I don't like doing it lah.
I actually don't really learn. I only learn basic skills. Very small bit only.
Yeah.
But I never really go and learn Photoshop properly before.
I'm also not that proficient, but my wife is lah. Berlin,
That's good enough.
who is the editor in Mayhem. So she's damn good with Photoshop. Yeah, but the thing is, I want to also explain that Photoshop takes a lot of time. So it's not a simple process whereby you tell me you want to slim down your face or remove all the acne on your face, right? It's a one-click button. It's not like that. We have to really mask out the whole head, and then we have to do a lot of brushing at different spots on you in order to get it done. So to edit one photos, just one photo, right? It can easily take anywhere short between 15 minutes to long, right? An hour to fix just one photo. So imagine if you ask me, because some couple, they don't know. I mean, it's not their fault lah, but you know, they will tell me that, hey, I want the whole album Photoshop. Can you Photoshop all my face and make sure that I don't look like this? 400 photos, all Photoshop. How long is the editing process going to take? If I take half an hour one photo, you know, that's gonna be 200 over hours of labor work.
Yeah.
Is it worth it or not? It's definitely not worth it lah.
Usually Photoshop, they don't do like the entire album lah. I'll say like they'll pick out a few photos.
I've come across, there are couples who don't know, they want the entire album.
Wow.
She said every photo that has me inside, I want my face to be, you know, 美图 lah. Yeah. And then I was like, oh my god, yeah, it's just very tough lah in terms of the editing. It cannot be done lah.
So do you do?
No lah. We have to explain to them that we can't do it because it's just doesn't make sense lah. Yeah. So it's important that couple understand that it's not that we don't want to do it, you know. But for me, is I can do, but you select limited. So for me, is what I present to couple is I will tell them that like 400 over photo is gonna take too long really, you know, 200 over hours to fix. Can we do about 20 to 25 photos Photoshop?
Yeah.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, most of these are pre-wedding photos, right?
Yep.
So pre-wedding, how many of them are you going to print out? You're not going to print everything, ma. You know, I've already color edited 400, 500 photos for you. So,
No lah, pre-wedding you'll give so much.
God, God, my 6 hours one have.
Oh, okay. That's a lot.
Yeah, so that's why sometimes couple don't know, then they'll ask us to Photoshop the entire pre-wedding album. Yeah, so but most couple, I mean, they're understanding lah. So once they understood, I mean, you have to communicate very transparently and openly with couple lah. Why it's not doable? You cannot just say like, hey, no, I cannot do. You know, you have to explain to them, then they will understand lor. Yeah. So from there, then we'll just process according lah to like 20, 30 photos. I think that's still very manageable for our editors. Yeah. So yeah, lor. So I think hopefully this can give you a better idea of what Photoshop is about lah, because I think there is a lot of misconception towards what Photoshop is. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode. We'll be sharing more with you in part 2 next week, so do stay tuned and we look forward to seeing you again. Goodbye.